Well, it's Wednesday, everyone. Time for Wisdom Wednesday. Today I thought I would take a little time and talk about seasonal allergies. Seems that quite a few of our folks walking in are dealing with quite a few symptoms from allergies, and perhaps we could look at some ways that we might be able to manage them without too much in the way of pharmaceutical medication, because there certainly is a spectrum of allergic reactions when it comes to seasonal allergies. And we know that ragweed is certainly sort of rearing its head right now. And these can affect a lot of folks, and lots of over-the-counter medications are certainly available and can be helpful. But it's also possible that there are ways that we kind of can help manage it to reduce your symptoms over time if you just kind of understand a little bit about some of the underlying issues that may be at hand. We know that you can have allergens in air, they can be in food, and certainly in certain medications can cause allergy type symptoms. But we're really looking now at, because of the seasonal allergies, of those things that are really in the air, and the symptoms that you can experience. You can have runny nose and sneezing and headaches and all kinds of itchiness and different rashes that can occur. Red eyes and wheezing and chest tightness. If you even have some issues with asthma, it can trigger, some of these allergens can trigger asthma, and it can be a real issue with just trying to get through a day, trying to feel good. And so what kind of things can we do to intervene and reduce symptoms? Well, we know what happens when you have these types of reactions is the release of histamine from mast cells. And in some people, it can be overwhelming, where others really have very little symptoms with that. But in trying to manage this, you certainly can use some of the over-the-counter medications, Claritin, Zyrtec, Allegra. Whether or not you need a decongestant or not can vary. But there is an approach, just like with the gut health, there's the 5R approach with gut health, just like that. There is sort of an approach with allergies in a similar fashion. And so in order to look at this, we're going to look at these 6 things that might be helpful. You can reduce some of the amount of allergens that are around by staying inside, by changing filters, things like that. You can also remove some of these allergens, specifically things in your diet that may make these seasonal allergies worse. We know that for some people, taking away gluten and particularly dairy can make a difference. So if you are really overwhelmed with seasonal allergies, it might be beneficial to consider doing a little bit of an elimination from your food in terms of just trying to lower the burden in your body of inflammation. Because oftentimes when your body's really struggling, and we know as we age, and we've talked about this, that we don't break gluten down well, we don't break down casein very well. And certainly with dairy, you can get much more mucus along the breathing tract that can then, these allergens can come in with breathing and set up shop and really set up such an inflammatory response and get those mast cells really pouring out histamine and making our lives just miserable. So certainly can look at the diet in a number of ways. You can re-inoculate your body with good probiotics, and certainly look at adding in some fermented foods that might be beneficial as well. And also to help your body break down foods better, you might look at adding some apple cider vinegar or just digestive enzymes with or without betaine hydrochloric acid. For some people, that can be really helpful just to get digestion going well and allowing your body to do more work in that area so that you're not overburdened with inflammatory foods and things that actually increase mast cells as well and increase your histamine burden. You can also repair the gut by and just the tract by eating in a way that reduces histamine. There are ways to change the way you eat to lower histamine, just even in the gut. You can Google just low histamine diet, and that can be beneficial. You can also replace the, as I said, enzymes and things that help you break your foods down better, because there is this correlation between seasonal allergies and what's happening with our gut. And then just rebalancing by making sure that you manage stress. We know that cortisol is also a major inflammatory issue in the body. And when we start this cascade of mast cells and get the histamine going, that sets up an inflammatory response, which then causes a little more stress in our body. So trying to work on keeping cortisol low and managing our stress load will also help. We have a couple of products, and basically the same product, one through Orthomolecular called D-Hist, and the other through Zymogen called Allergy, which is a quercetin product that has a little stinging nettles and a few other mast cell stabilizers in them. They can be quite valuable, and they tend to be non-sedating as well. I know that there are some ways that you can, just through with allergists getting a test and understanding the allergens. I know that several years ago I did a program through a company called Allergy, which was some lingual drops over a 3-month period to desensitize me, in particularly in the fall. It was terrible trying to play golf and have my nose run, and it seemed to have a huge impact on the stabilization of the mast cells in my body that prevented me from having to actually just kind of put nose wicks in, just because my nose would get so runny out trying to play golf in the fall. So, and it's been a very helpful, I think I did it in 2009, and I really haven't had much in the way of issues from then, which has been great. So if I do have a little something, I keep some of these products, the D-Hist and or the Allergy in my golf bag or in my purse, and I can really take those and they work fairly quickly. So some ideas that might be helpful during this seasonal allergy: just try to avoid, if you're really in bad shape, over just getting outside, but barring that, we need to get some morning sunlight. We need to keep our circadian rhythm up, but it might really behoove us to look at what we're doing nutritionally too that is actually making them worse over time. So hopefully this is giving you a little bit of an idea how to approach this from a more of a functional standpoint rather than just throwing different medications at it. But certainly if you have major issues with allergies that subsequently cause asthma type symptoms, you want to get jumped on those, and you want to look at a little bit stronger medications that might be helpful. You all have a great day, and we will talk again next week.